Well, hello there, stamping friends. It's Tracy Rather from Plum Crazy Stamping, and it's Wednesday, June 12th, and time for our regular Facebook Live. So today I'm actually going to refer to the catalog to help me um, have a card design so that I don't have to be figuring it out on my own. I'm going to use some of our new um, in color, pretty in pink, and some designer series paper that is pretty in pink. And then I'm going to use the textured floral stamp set and going to actually make a really easy card based on a sketch. So in the new annual catalog on page 22, if you have the catalog, if you don't, you can look online and you can get excuse me, access to that from either my weekly newsletter or online on my website, www.plumcrazystamping.com. You can go to Stampin' Up and see the catalog. And this new feature, a lot of information is in this new catalog about how to do things. So I'm going to share with you how to do that. Let's see who's here. Hi, Donna. Great to see you. Thank you for sharing. And Maureen, nice to see you. And I'm glad you could catch me live today, too. All right. So I'm going to flip the camera down here so you can see the catalog. And down on this lower part of page 22 is where there are a number of sketches. Let me just pick this up a little bit so you can see it maybe a little bit closer. And I'm going to use this sketch way over here, the first sketch on the bottom of this page, okay? And what I'm going to do to make this easier for you, now my artwork on this sketch is not so good, but I thought I would just draw it for you. And the sketch is, this is the card front, and that I have at 5.5 by 4.25. And then literally there are two pieces of paper, and you're going to decide when you're making this card, are you using designer series paper? Are you using colored cardstock? Are you using white cardstock and you're going to stamp it? There's a banner here for a sentiment and then a recommendation to use some either linen thread or a ribbon. So that's kind of how you read a sketch, okay? So let me go ahead and just, actually, they have used that sketch to create this card. So that's one way that that can look using that sketch, okay? I'm going to interpret the sketch my way and give you some choices of what we can do with this sketch to make a card. Like I said, there's the design, but we can modify it any way we want. I decided to pick some pretty in pink, and I have a couple different designer series paper. So this is the designer series paper, and this year's in color. And so it goes, I have the stripe, or I have the floral kind of. I've got some white card insert, card front 4 inches by 5.25. I've got a white card base here, 8.5 by 5.5. And if I wanted it to be the card base, I would just score it at 4.25. I've got a whole piece of the pretty in pink cardstock that if I want to have that be my card base. And then I have another piece of designer series paper, which has two sides as well to use so we can see what we're going to make here. Before I go any further, though, I just want to remind you, a couple of you are going in the comments and letting me know who you are and where you're from. So please continue to do that. Hi, Kathy, and hi, Mary Jane. And if you're on YouTube, please also sign in, and you can do that with your YouTube account or your Google account. Leave your name and your feedback in the comments on YouTube. And if you would subscribe to my channel and hit the bell, you'll be notified when I go live. All right, so let's go ahead here and make at least one card. Maybe we'll have to make two. Let's just see how it goes. But let's go ahead and create our card base. So I'm just going to go with the very simple and basic card base. Actually, I have to use the bottom of my trimmer here in light of my way I'm looking at this. So I am just going to cut this at 5.5 from the 11. Okay, that gives me my card base. Let me take one of these, and I'm going to go ahead and score this at 4.25. Okay, so I have my card base, and then just set this off to the side a little bit because I'm going to keep cutting here. All right, let's get the bone folder and make our medium card. So there is our base to our card. Tell you what, let's do two of these. So I'm going to put the white card base. I'm going to get that ready right away too. And take that to 4.25 and go ahead and score that. All right. So if you don't have a lot of colored cardstock, you can have a white base, okay? And now when I want to do the bottom of my card, so you could just take the regular size card, tilt it just a little bit, and make a different background on the colored cardstock. Or we can cut from the designer series paper to make that. Let's see, I'm going to put this right here so you can see the card sketch. But you know what? I want to have actually a little bit more showing here. So I think I've shared with you before, and I'll just pull this out. Here's my little card layer help, if you will. And these are in 1/4 inch increments. Now you can make one of these in 1/8 inch increments as well. But we'll use this in 1/4 inch. So the top one here is when it is a full, size card front. So that actually is what my Pretty in Pink is. Then the 5.25 by 4 inches is what is white on here and showing right now. So, just a little bit showing. And then we go down from there to 5 by 3 3/4, 4 3/4 by 3.5. I think I am going to, on this Pretty in Pink, let's go ahead and go down to 4 3/4 by 3.5. And I'm going to take, let's do this patterned paper in my 6x6 here, and I am going to cut it 4 3/4. Let's see, that's 4.5, 4 3/4. So that's my first cut here. And then I'll set that off to the side, and then I want this by 3.5. So by 3.5. Okay, so that's what I want to put in my background. And what I like about that is you can see a lot more of the card base. All right, now I am going to want to do, I'm going to do white cardstock because I do want to do some stamping. So I'm just going to take what would have been my card front here, or card insert, and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to go to the next. Actually, I'm going to go down 2 so that it's kind of a marked difference, and you'll be able to see this designer series paper. So this time I'm going to go 4 1/4 by 3. So let's see, my 4 1/4 will be on this longer side. And then by 3 inches. Okay. And then that one, I'm going to have be my more straight up and down. Just tilt it a little bit, I think. You could make it square or you could tilt it a little bit. I am going to tilt it a little bit. Okay. All right, and then I want to make a sentiment banner. So let's see. I'm actually going to make the sentiment banner out of another piece of designer series paper. I kind of like these stripes and they're light so that I'll be able to see what I stamp on it. So let's go ahead and cut. Do I want to use an actual banner or do I want to? Well, I'm just going to cut one with my scissors here. So let me see what sentiment I want to use on here. And we need to get out some stamps to do some stamping. As I said, this is the textured foil stamp set. So I have flowers, I have leaves, and I have, let's see, 3 sentiments. Every thought of you makes me smile with a grateful heart and birthday blooms for you. I tell you what, I'm going to use every thought of me makes you smile. Ha ha. Every thought of you makes me smile. Now I've said it correctly. All right. Let me go ahead and pull that out, and that will tell me how wide I have to make my banner. And this will be a nice big sentiment on there. And let's see, which size flowers do I want to use on here? Oh my. We can use, I'm going to use this big flower. I think that's really pretty. So let's go ahead and grab that off of here. This is the first time I'm using this set. That's why it's not been put together yet. So let's do that, and we'll have the leaves that match that. All right, and let's see, we've got a couple little flowers, and they have the splatter or the dots. I love what we'll be able to do with that. And let's see, do we want just I think we'll have just a small flower to do some accents. And I think we'll go with that. All right, so let me get those mounted on acrylic blocks. I've been doing so many Father's Day things. Kind of nice to go back to doing some florals here. Now these stamps have not been conditioned yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is to actually, stamp them with some ink and then wash it off. Or stamp a couple times, stamp it off, and then it'll be conditioned. Let's see here. Need to get that on a block, and then let's get our sentiment on a block. And I like to use the grid lines on my paper to help me to put it straight on my acrylic block. And I try to get things as straight as I can because that helps when I'm stamping. And let's measure how wide this sentiment is here. So the sentiment itself is 1 inch. So, I can make my banner 1.25 inches and it'll be perfect. So let's just cut that, the 1.25 inches here. Make sure you got it flat against your trimmer so you have, you know, it's straight, right? And we'll have a little banner. You know, that actually is going to be just too big, I think. I'm going to go back and make it just an inch. So, yeah, I'm going to like that better. And actually, I'm going to cut this down. So I'm going to stamp on it and cut it down. But let's get this out of our way. And I want to do some stamping also on the card front here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to use my Pierce mat because these are photopolymer. So we'll be putting that on here, and the words will be fine because I do have like a pad on here, but these solid images I don't trust without doing this. So I'm going to use Pretty in Pink, and I'm going to use a little peach pie for a little accent color. And I know that they'll go together because they're in the same color family. And then I'm going to use the Summer Splash. So I'm sharing with you some of the in colors today. I'll just keep the leaves off to the side here. And then I do want to do a darker color for my alphabet. I'm actually going to use Berry Burst for the sentiment because that will show up on my Pretty in Pink designer series paper. So why don't we do that one first? And as I said, I'm going to do a little stamping here, conditioning this. I know let me just move these aside a little bit. So we'll get the Berry Burst up here, and I'm going to just stamp that here on my paper. And it's stamping just fine, so ink that up again. And keep my strip close here. Leave a little room on one side to make the ends of the banner. And just push straight down. Sorry, I can see it's on the bottom of the screen. But then pull that off. We've got that stamped. All right, now let's go ahead and put a main flower image. Oops, but I'm going to get the Berry Burst out of our way now. And let's see, let's use the Pretty in Pink on the big flower here. So we'll ink that up. And I have to remember, very juicy stamp set. So I'm going to also stamp this off. Do it again, stamp it off. Okay, yep, very wet stamp set. So I'm going to go kind of towards, let's see, the top here with that flower. Yep, I have to watch the corners of my block here because this is a new ink pad and you can easily catch the corners. Okay, and let's do one kind of down here. All right, and then I want to do the leaves that go with this. So let's get a little of our Summer Splash. And just kind of get that a little bit conditioned so it's picking up the ink really good. All right. You know, I'm actually going to wash this one and see if that makes a difference in having the ink bead up on it. It might be just because these are actually I have not used these ink pads yet, so it's the first time I'm using them. So let's see if that helps a little bit. I think it's just the nature of this being a very wet, brand new pad. So let me go right in here to get that leaf. Same with right here. Okay, I did get a little bit on my pad. There we go. All right, so we've got the leaves. We've got that. Now I want a little accent. Oh, and you know what? Let's go ahead and, while we have these pads open, go ahead and do the card insert too right away. I don't want that to be bare. All right, where did I set it? Here we go. Let's go back with our pretty in pink again. And I am just going to do this on the corner down here. Okay. And then let's do the leaves. Hi, Rachel. All right, thanks for the idea with the Versamark. All right, so we've got the inside of our card. So we'll just set that up here. And let's go ahead and add a little accent with the peach pie. All right, I'm going to wash this one too. All right. And we're just going to put a little bit of this up there. A little bit down here. Let's see if we can get one right in between. Yeah, well, I don't know that I can. All right. And you know what? I think it needs just a couple of blossoms right down on the bottom. Okay. So we've got that. And then, let's see, what do I want to do as far as the, you know, I think I'm going to keep it peach pie to use some of these little dots, but I'm going to stamp it off twice so that they're very, very light. And just kind of do a little background work here, just so it doesn't look so white. All right. I like the faintness of that. So if I hold this up, let me see if you can you see just the little yellow splatters? Just adds a little bit. All right. And actually, if I want to do that on the inside of the card, since it's right here, let's do that here as well. Okay, just a little bit of something in there. So we've got that part, we've got this. Let's go ahead and put our card together. So I'm going to just first take my green glue and do the first designer series paper on here. All right, so that is glued on. Now I'm going to take the stamped piece and put that on top, and I'm going to glue that down because I am going to pop up the sentiment. Okay. And now we're going to take our sentiment. I'm going to cut off a little bit of that on the top. And I'm going to go ahead and make a banner by just making a snip into the middle and then go from the side to that middle and from the side to that middle. Same thing over here. Okay, and we've got our double banner here. Now this is a pretty big sentiment. I could do a little one, but I mean, it'll be fine that this is big. But the other sentiment that was in this set would have worked too. Now this one I do want to pop up. So I'm going to take the dimensionals here. And so it doesn't sag in the middle, I'm going to put 3 of them on here. And this was a way to get 3 kinds of designer series paper on here by, you know, having it be the background instead of making this white. Now I could have used a white strip. It would have been fine on here. See, it would have looked like, you know, that. But I like that it's 3 different designer series paper, so you can always pick out kind of the lightest one. All right, and then let's go ahead on the inside and we'll glue our card insert in. So that's the inside. Let me see what I have for some linen thread here. Actually, I've got a couple different colors here. Or we have white. Let's see what we think. Hi, Geraldine. Thank you. So glad you like this. Now, we could go with white, or we could go with the darker color to match the letters, or I actually have the pink. Does anybody have a choice? So darker white and probably berry burst on this one, white and pink, or just plain white to put a little bow on here. The first one that writes it's the one that we'll do here. White, you got it, Maureen. Okay, so now if I can find the end of it, Maureen, that's the ticket, right? There we go. Okay. So I am just going to do a little bow. And kind of adjust my loops so they're not so big. I want them to stay open or closed the way that I want them. Okay, and then let me just snip the ends here. And let's see where we want to put this. Do we want it to be here? Or like it? No, I'm going to put it right on here. I'm going to get a mini glue dot here. Let's see, that box is empty. I'm going to actually use one of the ones from my paper pumpkin kit. They always work. And I'm just going to take it off of here. And I need to take the adhesive off of this. And I'm going to kind of roll it up in a little ball on the end of my take your pick tool. Just have it be a little ball, because then I'm going to put it right behind the knot of my bow. And then just put it right on the end of the banner here. And there we have, oh, they had the bow on the other side in the sketch, but this is our card using the sketch. So now I'm going to do one very straightforward, and you can see the difference. So, all right, that one I did stamping. This one I'm going to do all with DSP. So let me see, where did that card front go? Here it is. Let's go ahead and, where did the designer series paper, that one other color I wanted to use? Okay, I want to use this one. And let's see, do I want this? I think I'm just going to use this to be my skinny one. And so this one, I'm going to go with the same measurements. And let me grab my trimmer here. So this first one is going to be the 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Oh, you know, since it's white, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So let's do 5 by 3 3/4. So we're going to do, let's do the 5 inches this way. I have to do it over here so I can see it. Okay, we've got our 5 inches, and then by 3 3/4. Okay, so we've got our first color. Okay, then now whatever this one is, I'm going to use it, but let me measure so I can somewhat get it to be, let's see here. Oh, this is 4 3/4, so let's do by 3 1/2. And then it will be, oh, we can't do it by 3 1/2 because it's too skinny. 3 1/2 this way, let's see, by 4 3/4. No, it's perfect. We're going to put this one this way. Okay, now I'm going to get the sentiment. So I'm going to use just white, and I'm going to use the smaller sentiment from this stamp set. Let's see, where did I set those stamps? There they are. Let's just get the one that says, "With a grateful heart." Okay, and I do like having just a little bit darker ink on there, so I'm going to use the Berry Burst again. Thanks, Donna and Sue and Maureen. I'm so glad that you like that. Now let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment for this card, and I'm going to cut that down a little bit. I think it's a little on the wide side. Let's get our trimmer. And we'll line this up a little bit. I think I lined that up a little crooked. Let's see. Yep. So let's fix it. Trying to get it to hold still is the issue. And then I cut it. It's done well, but now I don't like where the words are. So let me just do that again. Where did I put the, here it is. Sometimes you fix one problem and create another one. All right, now I'm going to center it on the piece that I've cut out. There, that's better. All right. I'm going to cut that down just a little bit and make my banner. So I'll just do it so that it's centered in here. Actually, I want this to be shorter on both sides. That way it won't go as far across the card. All right, and I'm going to make just little banner edges here. Now, if you don't like cutting these banners, you could always just cut it at a slant, or you could leave it like a rectangle. But sometimes people will actually just cut like this at a slant on both ends, and that looks kind of nice too. So whatever you like to do. All right, so we've got our banner. Let's go ahead and actually glue these down. Okay. And then we'll glue the other one down. Now think about what papers you would do together on what color. And I'm going to challenge you to make a card using this sketch this week and go ahead and post it on my Facebook business page here. And if we get a good response, you know, I might be able to come up with some prizes to send your way. So I would love to see what you have for ideas. Now I'm going to use mini dimensionals on this one. We always get ideas from each other, and I would really love to see what you would come up with, because you can see this does not take a lot of time from start to finish without knowing what you're going to do, but you've got the sketch. All right, so now I'm going to put this a little bit more. Keep it straight on the card. All right, and I'm going to use the dark linen thread this time. Hopefully I can find the end of this one. I'll tell you, it kind of goes into hiding. There we go. Let's do this. Oh, a little bit more. All right. Boy, this one is kind of wound up. Or I wound it up, which is probably more the case. All right, get that separated out there so we can actually see the loop. There we go. All right, there. All right, then we're going to just snip the edges here. And I'm going to use a glue dot again. And go ahead and just get that adhesive on the point of my tool here. Okay. And make it into a little bitty ball. And put it behind where I'm going to put the knot. And a lot of times when you do that, that will help hold the loop of your bow in place too. Okay, so we've got that. Oh, I wish I had my bling that matches this. This would be pretty then to add, you know, a couple of little batteries. Why does it say my PC is low? Anyway, I hope we don't get cut off. I wonder if it's still taping. It may be on the phone here. Um, so with that being said, I'm sorry I didn't think of that. Maybe you can see this, and I don't know, maybe the live stream isn't going, but if it is, here we go. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me at Tracy, TRACI, at plumcrazystamping.com. My computer's restarting. I'm going to see if I can get back on the broadcast, but if I can't, I will be posting these pictures and continue to ask any questions, and I'll watch your comments for the end of this. So I apologize. The computer said it had 3 hours of battery, but it must have changed its mind. So thank you, stamping friends. Have a wonderful day. I think that I'm back. I turned off the phone, so it's just my face now, and I can just close. I'm back. I turned off the phone, so I can just bring this to a close. And these are the two cards. Let's see. Let's do one at a time that I made today. Let's. There you go. One with DSP and one with stamping focal images. And this is using this first sketch on page 22 of the annual catalog. I'm sorry that this got a little crazy at the end, but I will post these and connect it to this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy stamping, friends. Bye-bye now.